James Shields was an immigrant from Ireland. He came penniless to the United States around 1825. He remained for more than 50 years and rose to rub shoulders with the most powerful and influential in the land. But he never lost the common touch or his Irish accent. He carried both with him to the end of his days. James Shields became a United States Senator from 3 different states, a Supreme Court Justice for the state of Illinois, a Brigadier General in 2 major American wars, and held many lesser but important posts. He was an advisor to presidents and cabinet members, governors and governed, and the prosperous and paupers. He was a rugged frontiersman, an Indian fighter, and was equally at home with ambassadors and diplomats. Shields was a soldier who met and defeated Stonewall Jackson on the field of battle, and a peacemaker who signed a peace treaty with the fierce Sioux Indians. He was a fighter who faced Abraham Lincoln, both with weapons in hand, to duel to the death on the banks of the Mississippi River. How different American history would read if Lincoln had been slain that day. James Shields died in 1879, almost as impecunious as when he first arrived from Ireland. But he left behind a rich heritage, a legacy filled with awesome achievement. Because of his accomplishments, immigrants, especially off the boat from Ireland, were held in higher esteem. And he showed in his indomitable way that lack of family connections and wealth were no barrier to success in the New World. This is his story. James Shields, a man who reached for the stars and grasped not only one as a brigadier general, but many as an individual human being. James Shields was born in 1806 in Altmore, County Tyrone, Ireland. He came from a Catholic landowning family that had lived in the area for over 200 years. The future general's father died in 1812 when James was 6. His mother, Catherine MacDonald Shields, then raised him. The area around Altmore is rugged and rural, and life there was hard in the early 19th century. There was not much opportunity for education, but James was fortunate. He was educated, first in an informal hedge school and later a Protestant school in Carrickmore, about 4 miles away from where he lived. James walked that 4-mile distance in bare feet each school day. Not that he didn't have boots to wear, he did, but he carried them looped by laces around his neck until he reached the school. Then he put them on. According to accounts, Catholic youngsters didn't wear boots at that time. There are no formal school records now from any school that James attended, but anecdotal accounts indicate that young James was bright and inquisitive. He was seldom seen without a book in hand, and he developed a mastery of math and classical languages. James also received an unconventional military education. This would stand him in good stead in America later. The hills around the Shields home contained veterans of the Napoleonic Wars. They were only too eager to tell young James about their military exploits, and James was an avid listener. He learned well. One old soldier, Sergeant Bernard McGuckian, even demonstrated close-order drill. He gave Shields publications on military tactics and even taught him how to fence. According to Shields' biographer, William Condon, the young Shields became so expert in the art of fencing that few men of any size or experience could surpass him. It is not clear why, or even exactly when, Shields decided to emigrate to America. Some suspect he was influenced by his Uncle James when he was a lad of 10. His uncle had left Ireland to study for the priesthood some 30 years earlier. In the War of 1812, his uncle enlisted in the army and fought at the Battle of New Orleans under Andrew Jackson. He visited Ireland in 1816 and captured the young boy's fancy by regaling him with stories of life in faraway America. How Shields got to America is uncertain. There are no verifiable records, shipping logs, or immigration lists bearing his name. One account says he first went to Canada, landing in Montreal because the price of passage was cheaper. Another says he left Liverpool sailing straight to Charleston, South Carolina. A third says Shields arrived in New Orleans and made his way up the Mississippi to Kaskaskia in Illinois. It is in Cascade that we encounter the first definitive record of shields in America. The year was 1829.